Scandals in American elections, from the 19th century to today. America's election problems began almost immediately. Vote buying. In the 1800s, political machines would pay voters for their support, intimidation, and ballot stuffing. Local gangs sometimes controlled precincts, manipulating vote counts. The 1876 presidential election, perhaps the most famous early scandal, where disputed results between Rutherford B. Hayes and Samuel Tilden led to the Compromise of 1877, ending Reconstruction in the South. Even in the early days, elections could be far from fair. By the 20th century, elections became more complex. Political machines, like Tammany Hall in New York City, dominated local elections through bribery and fraud. The 1960 presidential election, allegations of voter fraud in Illinois and Texas raised questions about John F. Kennedy's narrow victory over Richard Nixon. Media influence, radio and later television gave candidates new ways to sway public opinion, sometimes with misleading information. Elections were no longer just about ballots. They were battles for information and influence. No discussion of election scandals is complete without Watergate. In 1972, members of President Richard Nixon's campaign broke into Democratic headquarters to steal information. The subsequent cover-up shook the nation, ultimately forcing Nixon to resign. Watergate exposed how far politicians might go to win elections, and how abuse of power can threaten democracy itself. Since then, the vigilance of media and the public became a critical check on electoral corruption. Beyond fraud and scandal, elections in America have faced structural challenges. Voter suppression, from poll taxes and literacy tests to modern challenges like strict ID laws, some groups have been systematically prevented from voting. Gerrymandering, redrawing district lines to favor one party over another, has affected countless elections, reducing the power of individual votes. These tactics show that winning elections is not always about convincing voters. It can also be about controlling the system itself. Modern elections face new threats: hacking and cyber interference. Foreign powers have attempted to influence voter databases and election outcomes. Social media manipulation. False information spreads quickly, shaping public opinion in unprecedented ways. Massive political spending. Campaigns now spend billions on advertising, often overshadowing grassroots voices. Elections today are still a battleground, sometimes fought with data, algorithms, and money, rather than just ballots. Despite scandals, reforms have been implemented to protect American democracy. The Voting Rights Act 1965, ensuring equal access to voting. Campaign finance reforms, limiting money's influence. Election monitoring and auditing, improving transparency and security. Yet, each new election brings fresh challenges, reminding us that democracy is always a work in progress. From the 19th century to today, American elections have faced fraud, manipulation, and corruption, but they have also inspired reforms, vigilance, and public engagement. The story of America's elections shows us that democracy is never perfect, but understanding its flaws helps citizens protect it. Next time you cast your vote, remember, history has shown that every vote truly matters, and every election can change the course of the nation.